and say, listen, America is a country in peril right now. We must be the heroes that America needs. We must rescue America. They want to make you afraid to be able to even have that conversation because they know that they're losing and they're desperate. And we are not going to allow them to push us around. We're not going to allow them to silence us.
No!
America's worth fighting for.
Yes.
Freedom is worth fighting for.
Yep.
Our Constitution is worth fighting for. And you know what? Our history is worth fighting for too.
Amen.
They don't just want to change our present, they want to change our past. I say hell no.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
No.
I like you guys, you're responsive. This is really good. This is really good. Listen, we got a great program for you today. This is just opening comments. We have a lot of amazing speakers. How many of you know Anna-Paulina?
Yay!
She's a badass out there fighting for America, fighting for Florida. We have Shamika Michelle, Mikey Harlow, Carlin Borisenko. We have a lot of amazing speakers today, a lot of amazing speakers. Hey, before I get off the stage, how many of you am I going to see in D.C. next month? Unsilent Majority March on Washington. Okay, let's try something else. How many of you don't even know what I'm talking about right now? Okay, good. I'm glad. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make this perfectly clear. On October 2nd and October 3rd, Walkaway is throwing what is going to be literally the ultimate American weekend in Washington, D.C. It is going to be the greatest weekend of the entire year, and I say that with no exaggeration. We're kicking it off on Friday, October 2nd, which is 2 weeks from yesterday, with the Walkaway American Women's Town Hall in D.C. with Laura Trump, Judge Jeanine Pirro, Diamond and Silk, Katie Hopkins, as of yesterday, Senator Marsha Blackburn, and our very own Shamika Michelle, and more to come. We're not even finished with that. And then the very next day is the Unsilent Majority March on Washington. We have Dan Crenshaw, we have Lorenzo Lamas, we have Maj Touré, Shamika Michelle. We have so many incredible speakers for that. At this point, we're at like 25 incredible speakers that we have for the Unsilent Majority March on Washington. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, show up. Make this... I've been telling people lately, it's a time to make sacrifices.
Yep.
Let's all, before I get off the stage, let's all take a little visual exercise together. Close your eyes, just for a moment. Do me this favor, close your eyes. Close your eyes and imagine that today is November 4th. You've just woken up on November 4th, and Joe Biden is your president.
No.
I'm not even done yet. Joe Biden is your president, and the Democrats have taken control of the Senate. No. And they still control the House. And you now live in a completely Democrat-controlled government. What would you do now today on November 4th to be able to go back in time and do anything you could possibly do to stop this from happening? What would you give? What would you do? Show up for America. Make this the sacrifice that you make. I'm asking all of you, get that plane ticket, get that bus ticket. We have discounted hotels for you on unsilentmarch.com. Right now, we have over 6,500 patriots signed up to be a part of this march. Woo! We have hired hundreds and hundreds of armed security agents. These are ex-military, ex-Green Beret. You guys are going to be safe from beginning to end. We are taking care of everything. Show up for the Unsilent Majority March on Washington and get your tickets the night before to the Walkaway American Women's Town Hall with those incredible women. All you have to do is go to walkawaycampaign.com, click Ultimate American Weekend, and sign up and show up for America! Woo! All right, I love you guys, and I've already talked way too long, but I'll be back again in the end. I'm going to turn it over to our amazing MC, wherever that gentleman is.
Right here.
JT! Get up here! JT Wild, ladies and gentlemen! I love this guy. He wrote an amazing song back in 2018 when Walkaway first got kicked off. He's going to be speaking today. Would you like the mic back? All right, I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day today. Rescue America!
I do not know how to follow that. Oh my God. That guy's amazing. Thank you, Brandon. All right. I've been trying to get this sign to stop flipping over. Y'all just gonna have to ignore that. All right, so let's go ahead and keep this show on the road. I'm going to introduce an awesome, amazing woman right now. She is a Air Force veteran.
Yes.
And she has just won the Republican primary for Florida's 13th district. Miss Anna Paulina. Make some noise!
Thank you so much to everyone for coming out here, especially on your Saturday morning. Thank you. I can tell you there is no shortage of patriots here in Tampa Bay. Can I get an amen? Amen! Thank you. So let me just start out by saying I'm originally from Los Angeles, California.
Ew! Me too, girl.
I'm originally, and I think the original political refugee in regards to what's happening currently in that state with politics. But you know, had it not been for my service in the military really bringing me to Florida, I probably would have never realized the other perspective that exists, that conservative ideologies and the Republican ideology is not racist, it's not wrong, it's not xenophobic, it's American. Yeah. And I can tell you that from someone who is a second generation American citizen, that when you see what's happening right now, especially on the border, that you see that prior to 2016, really in 2015 and prior to that, Obama, Hillary Clinton, every single person that was a Democrat had the very same policies on immigration that the president did. And I can tell you that when you go down there, I've been down to the border 3 times. And I can tell you that what I have seen down there, if you've ever gone down there after witnessing what I have, you would never ever sit there and say that you want an open border, because you realize that an open border hurts people on both sides. Now, in 2020, we know that the largest voting minority in the country is Hispanic American demographics, but those specifically of Mexican American descent. So do you know what the mainstream media did? They said that if you are Republican and you support a strong border, therefore you're racist. It was never about solving immigration. It was about making sure that they could take away the Hispanic American vote and essentially help take away the 2020 election. Well, I can tell you, everyone here today, I know, just real quick show of hands, have you been censored on social media? Okay, if you look around, most people have. And I can tell you that moving forward with this election, it's only going to get worse. That we need every single one of you to share information, tell your friends, get down at the grassroots level. Whether you are from Tampa Bay or not, you need to get active with the campaigns, active in your community, make sure that you are educating people and sharing the correct information. And a little bit about my personal story, my family is not Republican. In fact, my family, my mom, I grew up within the welfare system, very young single mother. My mom worked very hard to take care of all of us, but she was a staunch Democrat and a Hillary Clinton supporter at that. And when she found out that I'd actually voted for the president, Donald Trump, she actually started a Facebook support page called Mothers Whose Daughters Voted for Trump, which is kind of funny. But I was able to bring her to my events, and she saw that because I was going out there in the community, because I was involved at the time with Turning Point USA, that I was being called a white supremacist. I'm clearly not a white supremacist. I'm clearly not a racist person. But she realized that that is what the media has become. If they don't agree with you, they make blanket statements, they put out false information, and they will try to ruin you. Well, that's not what the founding principles of this country are, okay? We are pro-life, pro-God, pro-gun, and anti-socialist. So I want to thank you all for coming out today. Make sure that you are using your voices, because really in 2020, it is about freedom versus socialism. It is about holding the line, even if you're the only one saying it, and doing the right thing, because this is our country. And yes, there are people in the Democrat Party that are pushing Marxist ideology. That's not a tin hat theory or a conspiracy theory. It's happening, folks. And if you don't do something about it, we will absolutely lose this country. But that's not going to happen, is it? No! Because we're all going to stand and hold the line in 2020, right?
Yes!
And because we will be voting for President Donald Trump, because you do not have to be a Democrat. Thank you so much. If you guys want to talk to me in a little bit, I'll be over here. But I will, with that, conclude. God bless all of you. God bless the United States, and God bless Florida.
Woo! Good job.
All right, Anna Paulina, one more time. All righty, so we're going to go ahead and introduce the next person up, Mrs. Carlin Borisenko.
Yeah!
used to be a Democrat.
Uh-oh.
In fact, to this day, I have never ever voted for someone who did not have an R next to their name. That will change in November. So how did I get here? Well, the first thing you guys need to know about me is I'm from Vermont, the land of hippie liberals, Ben and Jerry's, and Bernie Sanders.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so we got Maine right here. I was just in Maine last week. I'll tell you what, I was at a Trump rally in Maine last week. There were a lot of people that were very excited at that rally. I'm just going to tell you that. But so being from Vermont, I honestly don't even think I knew a Republican. All of my friends were Democrats. My parents were Democrats. And when I turned 18, it just made sense for me to join the Democratic Party just like everyone else. And I got to tell you that the next 20 years I spent as a Democrat, not really thinking much of it. As soon as Obama got elected in 2008, I was like, whew. I don't need to worry about this anymore. And I kind of turned my brain off to what was going on politically because I had other stuff going on in my life. I had a business, I was building that. I was just a regular everyday person that wasn't paying attention. And then in 2016, Donald Trump got elected, and I gotta tell you guys, I woke up and I cried.
I did too.
I really did. I
did
cried.
too.
I had a moment. But, you know, here's the thing. Over the next several years, I expected things to get a lot worse than they got because the media was lying every single day. Every single day, they were lying about what this guy was saying and what this guy was doing. And I had created this nice little liberal echo chamber for myself where I never had to hear from anyone who wasn't a Democrat or a liberal or even more insane until something funny happened. About a year and a half ago, social justice took over my knitting community. Yes,
Girl.
Knitting. The thing with the needles and the yarn. Now listen, I know when you guys think of knitting, you might think of little old ladies sitting around drinking tea and gossiping and stuff like that. But a lot of that takes place online right now, places like Instagram. And what happened when social justice took over this small little community is I saw good people who had done nothing wrong have their reputations destroyed because they didn't use the correct words. I saw good people who had done nothing wrong have their businesses destroyed because they didn't bend the knee.
Yep.
And I saw one person who just asked the social justice crazy people for kindness and empathy. He was bullied and mobbed so badly, he ended up in the hospital on suicide watch.
No.
And at some point, I looked around and it occurred to me that these were people I had politically aligned myself with, and I was not okay with that anymore. And so I started this journey of listening to voices who I thought I would disagree with just to challenge myself and to see where my beliefs really were. And the very first thing I watched was a walkaway town hall with Brandon Strauch and Mikey Harlow. And I was convinced that I would disagree with everything they had to say. But instead, I found people who sounded an awful lot like me. And this came as a surprise because Rachel Maddow on MSNBC had been lying to me for years. They said, walkaway is fake, they're all Russian bots.
Nope.
Guess what, folks? It's real. It's real. I've been around the country now. I have seen exactly how real walkaway is. So my big culminating exercise was that I challenged myself to go to a Donald Trump rally in Manchester, New Hampshire on the eve of the New Hampshire primary. And my friends were so nervous for me. One person even offered me her pepper spray to take with me. They're like, Carlin, these people are deplorable. They're gonna harass you, don't do it. But I went anyway, and guess what? I didn't see a single white supremacist. I didn't see a single member of the KKK or a Nazi. Who I met at that rally were just good, hardworking people who just had different ideas than I did about how to run the country. So listen, folks. The election we have coming up in just, honestly, a few short weeks. It's really not that far away. This is one of the most critical elections that we have had, probably, honestly, in this country's history. And for my money, this is not an election between Republicans versus Democrats.
Nope.
This isn't even an election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden.
Nope.
What you are voting for in this election is a decision between whether or not you want a country where little authoritarians in government tell you what to think and what to say and what videos you can watch and what ideas you can consider, or if you want to be an adult and make those decisions for yourself.
Damn, girl.
These are not conservative values that we're fighting for. Listen, guys, I'm not a conservative. I'm really not. And I know that, I probably have a lot of disagreements with some folks in the crowd, but here's the thing. We're not fighting for conservative values in this election. We're fighting for our individual liberties, our basic freedoms. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion. And yes, even the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment protects the First. These are not conservative values, these are American values.
Yes.
So I know exactly who I'm voting for on November 3rd. I would crawl through broken glass to vote in person in this election, I'll tell you what, and I hope you would too. But we've got to keep going. You guys got to keep speaking up. We've got to keep fighting every single inch, because especially now with the tragic death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who honestly for me is like a hero, but this is going to rally the left like nothing has rallied them before. Listen, we all know that no one's excited about voting for Joe Biden. They're not voting for Joe Biden anymore. Now they're voting for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and that will excite them. Do not underestimate the difference that yesterday made in the course of this election. We need everyone to be going out, speaking up, talking to your friends, talking to your families, talking about the values that are at stake in this election. We have got to get people to wake up and see how much they've been lied to so that we can take this country back. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Thanks for having me.
Good job. Good job.
Good job. Good job. Everybody give her another hand. All right, guys. So next up we have Mr. Mikey Harlow.
Yes!
Guy. And I just met him. He's such an amazing gentleman. Just to give you just a quick synopsis, he's a writer, artist, and filmmaker from New York City. God bless you, sir.
Oh.
He began singing, in punk bands from about the age of 16. And about 2 years ago, he was one of the early originators of the Walk Away movement. And for the past 2 years, he's been touring the country with Walk Away LGBT Town Hall.
Yes.
Other things. I'm going to go ahead and introduce him right now, Mr. Mikey Harlow.
Work, Mikey.
So, I don't know if you guys have heard, we've been on tour basically for like a month doing this. I need like a bingo card of insanity of all the things that have happened to us. There was the bomb threat at our hotel, going to the White House, being chased after the White House, being chased a week later. It's been amazing. And I'm not gonna lie, what we do, it gets really difficult sometimes. We all have our down moments, and I think that the thing, my friends and I always have to remind each other in our low moments when we ask, why do we do this? We always have to remind each other the answer, so you guys don't have to.
Amen. Amen.
If we keep giving the radical left more power and more power and more power, that's what we're gonna be living under, where nobody can speak, no one can think for themselves. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen our last event. We got chased by BLM. By the way, I will not call them Black Lives Matter. They don't give a damn about Black lives.
No, they don't.
Burn, loot, murder is more accurate.
Yep.
So we got chased for like 5-6 blocks, all in front of a police precinct, by the way.
Yep.
They stole our friend's phone, smashed it. So we were just kind of like running to get to the cops. And so we finally got to them. All this happened in front of a police precinct. They were like beating cars with poles, all on tape. Theft, assault. So we're like, can you guys do something maybe? No. We have no laws anymore.
Nope.
Oh yeah, unless you don't wear a
Unless
mask,
you-
that's for sure. You guys, I just had a fight with a mask Nazi in the store. It was great. So I don't know about you guys, but I was a leftist Democrat my entire life. I'm from New York, like he said. I'm dealing with it. I'm trying. So it's much nicer here, the weather. So I was that person who just sat in front of MSNBC all day. If Rachel Maddow didn't say it, it didn't happen. And I always was under the impression that Democrats were just the good people. And this is just a fight of the good people and the bad people, the racists and homophobes and Nazis. But somehow, it's only one side of people with their fists in the faces of gay men yelling faggots right now, and it ain't Trump supporters.
Nope. Nope.
So, it was sort of, for me, it was a series of things that led to me walking away from the left, one of which was really life experience. Because when we talk about building a wall, it's really liberals who have built a wall. They've built it around themselves to shield out any dissenting opinions and to shield out seeing the reality of their own policies. So one of the first things that woke me up to that was an experience where I was living in the project and I saw the reality of their policies. I saw how people were being sucked into the system and being set up for failure, where you have entire generations of people on welfare and on welfare and on welfare and have never known anything else. And you can't even blame them. But what Democrats do is they get people hooked on drugs, the drug of free money, and then they say, if you want your fix, you have to keep voting for us.
Exactly.
So since walking away, I lost every friend I ever had from asking questions. I am now, I hold the record. I am now the single most banned person in the history of Twitter. I'm fighting them. So as, you know, as Nick said, Walk Away is a 501c3 organization.